Hello and welcome to this episode of the SHU Sports Report. Alongside Diana Canizera, I'm Cara Levine. So fresh off a bye week, it seemed like football was ready to rock when they went up to Ithaca over the weekend.
That's right, Cara. That extra rest, it definitely looked like it paid off. Coming off a loss at Wagner, the Pioneer football team seemed to have regained their focus when they took on Cornell this past Saturday. Cornell got the first 7 points on the board, but SHU quickly answered back and stayed atop the Big Red Bear. Nate Chavia scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, giving SHU the lead. They went into halftime 24-10. Despite the 5 turnovers for the Pioneers, allowing Cornell to score 24 points, Sacred Heart had strength on both sides to take home a win. For the offense, Nate Chavius had his second 100-yard rushing effort, making him NEC Player of the Week. Defensively, Brendan Slade led with a career high of 11 tackles, and CJ Parvelis, who has been consistently logging at least 7 tackles in every game so far this season, had 9 against Cornell, including 2 for a loss and 1 for a sack. Sacred Heart beat Cornell 31-24. SHU will be back home this Saturday for a family weekend to host Robert Morris in their second game of conference play. Well, moving over to soccer, the women's team had a pair of tough conference matchups this past weekend. Cara, why don't you tell us more about it?
You're right, Diana. They faced 2 tough new opponents on Friday and Sunday as they get closer to concluding the regular season. The women's soccer team played Fairleigh Dickinson to a 0-0 double overtime draw on Friday night. Sophomore Nicole Sambuco knocked down the 6 shots she faced. Sambuco and the Pioneers defense have not allowed a goal in 5 straight games. The game was an even matchup the whole way through, with SHU and Fairleigh Dickinson both having 6 shots on goal. They had a day to recover and then traveled on Sunday for a matchup against Central Connecticut State University. Sacred Heart came into the contest not allowing a goal in its previous 5 games, while CCSU had not allowed a goal in league play. It proved to be a defensive battle as both teams combined for 10 shots on the day. With 1 goal in each half, Central took the match for a win of 2-0. The Pioneers returned home to Campus Field to take on St. Francis U on Friday, October 21st at 5 p.m. Sacred Heart fans, we've got Kyle DeVico in the update corner ready to give us a recap on the week in SHU sports. Kyle, what do you got for us?
We've got plenty today, Cara, starting off with an awesome end to the fall season by both the men's and women's golf teams in our very own SHU Fall Classic. Women's golf wrapped up their fall schedule with a first-place finish, ending with a team score of 623. The Pioneers were led by senior Ellen Nybor and sophomore Chelsea Sedlar, who finished first and second respectively at the 2-round tournament. Nybor finished just 2 over par and shot an impressive 6 birdies over the 2 rounds. Sedlar would finish in second with a score of 9 over par. Men's golf concluded fall play with a first-place finish as well, finishing with a total of 599 to take the title. Freshman Clifford Lindholm picked up an individual title with a score of 142. Lindholm's final round on Monday started with a hole-in-one at the second hole. He finished the round and final score at 2 under par. Sophomore Hector Gutierrez finished second overall at the 3 over par in the 2-round tournament. You'll find both teams back in action in 2017 when golf resumes in the spring. It was a back-and-forth contest between the men's soccer team and Central Connecticut State on Sunday afternoon. The Blue Devils got on the board first, but Sacred Heart knocked one down shortly afterward, courtesy of senior Shaquille Sanchez, who dribbled past the defender and fired it in to the left side to tie it up at 1. Sanchez now has 6 goals on the year. The Blue Devils would get the game winner off a clear attempt by Sacred Heart to give CCSU the 2-1 win. Keeper Robert Strain had a game-high 9 saves. The Pioneers are back on the pitch Friday, October 21st at LIU Brooklyn. The field hockey team was shut out by Ryder Friday evening at Johnson Field. Pioneer goalkeepers Emily DeGennaro and Lauren Musselman combined for 7 saves, but SHU fell to the Bronx 3-0. They saw their second half comeback cut short Sunday afternoon. Nicole Tolley and Danielle Gallagher both scored late to cut the Bulldogs' lead, but the Pioneers fell to Bryant 5-2 on Senior Day. The Pioneers hit the road next weekend, facing crosstown rival Fairfield on Friday evening. Women's rugby dropped the match to the Malloy Lions when they traveled to Seaford, New York on Saturday. Sacred Heart drew first blood in the match, logging back-to-back tries from Emily Minogue and Charlotte Tallman. Kaylee Howell would go 1 for 2 on conversion kicks, but Malloy quickly took back control of the game, scoring 5 consecutive tries between the first and second half and 5 completed conversion kicks, ending the game 35-12. They will head to Brunswick, Maine for a matchup against Bowdoin College on Saturday, October 22nd. Women's volleyball is back on track after defeating Fairleigh Dickinson on Saturday afternoon. The Pioneers got off to a slow start, dropping the first set, but came together to win the next 3 to put the Knights away. The victory improves their overall record to 13-7 and conference record to 6-1. The Pioneers were led by senior Anna Gonzalez, who put up a phenomenal 31 digs, earning her NEC Defensive Player of the Week. If you haven't gotten enough of your fix of volleyball yet, don't you worry. Aaron Burrell is sitting in the coach's corner with women's volleyball head coach Rob Machin to give us an inside look at what has been a great season so far.
Thanks, Kyle. Now, Coach, you've had a strong start to this season. What factors do you think that this team has that has allowed you to be within striking distance of a league crown midway through the season?
There's a couple factors. It's a strong group of returners that we have, and they've had a lot of success in the past, and we added some very strong young players also. But mainly it's the culture they've created, I believe. They work really hard in practice every day. They have high expectations, and that's translating to very good play on the court right now.
All right. Now, Sarah Krufka was the NEC Player of the Year last year, and this year she's playing again at another high level. What is it about her that contributes to the success of the team, and what impact do you expect from her for the rest of the season?
Pretty much what we get from her every day. She comes every practice, every match to work and give her best effort. And the difference is now everybody expects her, the opponents expect her to do well also. So other teams really focus on her. And she does such a good job of giving that same effort and not worrying about her numbers necessarily, because other teams are focusing on her, other players are opened up. And I think one of the main reasons for our success is the attention that she draws every night from every opponent that we have, and how that frees up other players in our team. And we've all bought into that idea. You know, you can't always have a great game, but you can always impact the game. And Sarah's numbers are right there again. Obviously leads the lead in conference in kills, and she's done a great job, but she just brings it every night, and that's what we really appreciate from her.
Now, you mentioned other players that are playing well, and Michaela Dole, for example, has established herself as, you know, a presence on the court. Yeah. How does it help you as a coach when having numerous weapons on the court? We
recruit players that are very versatile and very physical, and they buy into an idea that we have, that we want attackers on the floor in all the positions. We always say everybody wants to hit, and Michaela wants to hit, and when you guys watch her play, she wants to hit for sure. So she has a great mentality. She's going to go after you every night, and having that in all the positions makes it difficult for the opponent to think we're going to stop this player or stop this player. And Michaela's mentality, if you don't get in front of her, she's going to knock you out. So I think she kind of brings that level of physicality to our team that does put the stress on other teams for sure. And you'll see nights where Sarah has a huge game or Michaela does, because they're trying to do one or the other, and you can't do both.
This past weekend, Anna Gonzalez had an impressive 31 digs against Fairleigh Dickinson and earned NEC Defensive Player of the Week. What kind of impact do statistics like those have on not just the game, but the team as a whole?
We've always been a very good defensive team, and Anna is, in my opinion, the best libero in the conference, and has been for a couple of years. The style of play that we have, though, we position her in a place where there's not as many dig opportunities and more go towards other players. We kind of rotated the defense a little bit this last match and gave her more opportunities, and obviously you see what she can do when she has those opportunities. So, but she's always been a great team player. As long as the team is winning, she's happy and she feels good about it and her efforts. And she also, I think, right now is first in the conference or second in aces. So when she gets a chance to hit the other team, she hits them pretty well.
All right. What's the mindset as you head into the second half of the season, and what's your perspective on the season as the conference championship approaches?
Our goal is to keep improving. We understand that we would love to come out the regular season champ. We would love to host, but it really comes down to that tournament in the end. And we want to be the strongest team in that tournament. So our mindset and practice is to keep improving every day, keep adding nuances to our team, and keep shoring things up So when we get into that tournament, we have the best chance to be successful at the end.
Great. Wish you all the best, and I know how much home court advantage can help in that postseason.
Oh, our home crowds are wonderful. Absolutely. I agree.
Absolutely. Women's volleyball hosts back-to-back games on Saturday and Friday against St. Francis Brooklyn and LIU Brooklyn. Be sure to come out to the Pitt Center and show them your support. Now let's head back to Kyle for more update on your Pioneers.
Thanks, Aaron, and welcome back, Sacred Heart fans. Let's get right back into it. Women's rowing competed in the Navy Day Regatta in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on Saturday morning. Sacred Heart had 5 entries in the event, with the Women's Open Collegiate 8+ team led by coxswain Elisa D'Souza recorded the fastest time of the day for the Pioneers at 16:33 amongst the crowded field. The Pioneers will compete in the annual Head of Charles Regatta in Boston, Massachusetts this weekend on October 21st and 22nd. Swimming and diving notched their first win of the season in a conference dual meet, defeating LIU Brooklyn 129-127. LIU went up 123-116 after being tied for the 3 events after the 200 individual medley on the last relay. Senior captain Olivia Decas led off the final relay, followed by senior captain Kaylee Dion and Kimberly Hyland. After entering the water 1.71 seconds behind, freshman Lauren Somers made the comeback for the Pioneers and earned a victory in the relay. The Pioneer B relay would place 3rd, earning the 2 points that solidified the win for Sacred Heart. Swimming and diving continues their season with a meet against Iona, Wagner, and St. Francis College at Iona this Saturday, October 22nd. Men's cross country finished 13th out of 23 teams at the Princeton Invitational. Connor Rogg was the first SHU finisher, crossing the line in a season best time of 24:42 for 19th place. The women's team finished 12th out of 22, with Megan Hutch as the first Pioneer to cross the finish line in the 6K race. She set a new personal best of 22:17, good for 34th place in the field of 217 individuals. This time is more than 3 minutes faster than her 2014 finish on the same course. Hutch is now number 5 on the program's all-time 6K list. The Pioneers will be back in action Friday, October 21st at the CCSU mini-meet at Stanley Corner Park in New Britain, Connecticut. Men's tennis was defeated by a slim margin, with Hofstra winning 4-3. In doubles play, the Pioneers won 2 of the 3 matches. Saji Hosokawa and Francois de Laval Diaz won a close match 7-6, with Omar Abdu and Anthony Santino picking up the second doubles win 6-2. Francisco de Laval Diaz also picked up a win in singles, beating Hofstra's Chang 6-3, 6-0. Matthew Surprenant, playing at 6 singles for the Pioneers, won in straight sets 6-4, 6-4. Women's tennis was defeated by Hofstra 6-1. In doubles play, the Pioneers won 2 of the 3 matches. Taylor Gerda and Sabrina Navarro Lopeza beat Hofstra 6-2, with Podsaberski and Laloria also coming out on top in their match 6-4. Pioneer Tennis will be back in action Thursday, October 20th for the ETA Regionals at Penn. That's all for me. Check back next week for another recap on your favorite Pioneer sports. I'll send it back to Diana, who's got a little left in the tank for us today with men's ice hockey.
Thanks, Kyle. The men's ice hockey team had an action-packed weekend, first taking on Army West Point on Friday in New York, then hosting Union at Webster Bank Arena in Bridgeport. West Point came in strong, but so did Sacred Heart's goalie Brett Magnus. Magnus had 13 saves in just the first period, allowing only 1 to go in to give the Black Knights the 1-0 lead. In the second period, the Pioneers fired 3 quick shots right in the opening minute, but couldn't find the net. Black Knights ended up scoring 2 more goals, winning 3-0 and sweeping SHU in the season series. The Pioneers hosted Union on Saturday for their home opener in a competitive battle for both teams. Goalie Brett Magnus had 5 saves within the first 5 minutes of the game, while Justin Danforth got the Pioneers on the board with his power play strike in the first period. Union took a 2-1 lead heading into the second period, then added another goal to make it 3-1. SHU answered back right before the third period as senior captain Evan Jasper fired a shot to make the score 3-2. Union secured another goal, but freshman Zach Tescos wasn't having it as he picked up a deflection to net his first career goal to tie the game 4-4, sending them into overtime. Magnus had 5 huge saves with a little over 3 minutes left in OT, but neither team could score, ending the game in a tie 4-4. Pioneer Hockey will be back in action this Friday as they travel to Boston to take on number 8 ranked Boston University.
That's it for us today, Pioneer Nation. Don't miss out on any of our home games this weekend, starting with women's soccer on Friday at 5 p.m. at Campus Field. On behalf of all of us here, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.